Hi friends, it's Shay. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to do a what's on my iPhone, which is a first for my channel. But I recently got the iPhone 13 mini and I changed up what the inside of my phone looks like. So I wanted to share with you some apps that I use, but also how I organize my phone so it looks aesthetically pleasing, but is also super functional for me. Okay, so we're first gonna unlock my phone, and I usually have Face ID, but I'm just gonna type in my passcode. And this is the home page that I get to. I have 3 different pages. The first one is for school-related things. The second one is for content creation related things, so I have that. And then I also have a page for just random social media stuff, random apps that I always use. And then there's the app drawer where all my apps are located. And then if you swipe all the way to the left, I forgot what this thing is called, but I just have the weather widget, the battery widget, and Google Calendar. So before I move on to talking about my apps, I just want to mention 3 different apps that I use to make my home screen look this aesthetic, I guess. So the first one is called Widgetsmith. So when you go into the Widgetsmith app, it lets you make widgets that are small, medium-sized, or large. And I just found these photos from Pinterest and I uploaded it onto the Widgetsmith, and then I was able to create widgets like these. And then the next thing is for all my app icons. I designed these in Canva, but if you like the color scheme, I'll upload a Google Drive folder with all the icons that I've created so you can use them on your home screen as well. But this one is using the native app called Shortcuts, and this is the app made by Apple where you can make shortcuts to these apps. So because they're shortcuts to the apps, when you click on an app, it has this little notification. Right now I'm not logged in because I just got my phone yesterday, but when you open anything, it'll give you like a little notification, which if it bothers you, then I would not use the shortcuts. And then the last one is this little calendar that I have, which is this app called Dawn. And that's how I got my calendar. So now that we've talked about the applications that I used, we can move on to actually talking about the apps themselves. So the first thing I have up here is the Widgetsmith that I've talked about. This is a quote that I found on Pinterest. It's saying, "What's stopping you?" And I thought it made sense for this homepage where it has all of my school-related content. Next is my Google Calendar. So I use my Google Calendar for everything, and I have a Google Calendar video where you can check out how I organize my Google Calendar. And then the next one is just Widgetsmith again. This is just a aesthetic picture I found off Pinterest and I uploaded it on here just to make it look nice. But what I like using the Widgetsmith is for, you can notice in all of my application screens that most of my applications are located in the bottom right corner, and that's because I have tiny hands. So when I'm holding my phone, I want to be able to access these applications quickly, so I try to put them on the right hand bottom side or up here because they're much easier for me to stretch my hands to. The first app I have on here is Outlook, and this is what I use mainly for my social media email. And then I have the Canvas app, which is where all of my classes are located. Right now I'm taking 3 classes, so all 3 of my classes are in here. And in my Google Calendar video, I explained how I was able to connect this app into my Google Calendar feed so I don't have to add assignments and stuff by myself, and it'll automatically upload into my Google Calendar. So you can check that video out. Next, I have this app called Tide. So this is an app that I use for my Pomodoro timer. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a way to work where you work for a set amount of time, which is usually 25 minutes, and then take a break for another set amount of time, which is usually 5 minutes. It's nice having a timer for that, but what I like about this app is that they have these very aesthetically pleasing visuals and sounds in them. So this is like an ocean sound with the ocean visual. forest rain, relaxing music with a nice background. And I have other apps that I've used in the past for Pomodoro timers, and I'll list them over here, but all of these apps basically do the same thing, and I like switching in between them because they all have really nice aesthetic vibes to them that I sometimes want. So right now I'm just gonna be using this app called Tide. Next is my mail app. I haven't really set it up yet because I just got my phone yesterday, but this is where I connect my school email and all the other emails that's not Outlook on here. So it's just nice to have all of these school related things on hand. In my main app drawer, I have the phone app, Google Calendar, Spotify, and Messages. And if you want music recommendations for music that I listen to, which is usually just chilled R&B or very old music, you can check out these playlists that I usually listen to over here. So my next page is dedicated to content creation, and I found this really nice quote from Pinterest, and it says, "Your biggest commitment must always be to yourself." So I have that here, and I think it's a really good reminder because if you make content online, it's really easy to kind of push that off to the side, especially when you're starting out, because you're not making much money out of it. It's literally a side hustle, and if you have a part-time job and you're a full-time student, it's really easy to kind of push that off to the side. But I like this reminder because it reminds me that if I want to build something for myself, then I have to put in the time, and that all of these other distractions going on in my life are just that, they're distractions, and it's important to understand that your life and your vision and your aspirations are just as important, if not a lot more important, than all these other things that are going on in your life. And then on the left corner, I have this content planning thing, which is a Notion widget. And if you click on this, it'll take me to my Notion page where I keep track of my content. So this has my inspiration board. So this is my inspiration board for my YouTube right now. And I also have video ideas, thumbnail ideas, to-do lists, and stuff like that. So it's really nice having this shortcut to this page, so I don't have to go into the Notion app and look for different shortcuts. And if you're looking for a Notion page to keep track of your school assignments and personal life and stuff like that, I have a Notion video, but I'll also link this Notion page to my description below, and I've created this, and you could just save it as a template if you want to use it. Next, I have my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram and you want to, you can. This is my Instagram page. I also have my TikTok, which I don't use very often because it's really easy to get distracted by TikTok. But this is my TikTok if you want to follow me, but it has everything that's on my Instagram, which is my priority right now. And then I also have YouTube, and this is the app that I use the most because I love watching YouTube videos. I think long form content has always been my favorite form of content. And then I have YouTube Studio, which is an app for YouTubers. You can check all your stats and stuff like that here. And then my last page has my just random things. So the top one is the Dawn app widget, where it'll take you to the Dawn app, but I usually just use it for this actual calendar itself. So it has a monthly calendar and a little mark for what day it is. And it also says in words, "Good afternoon, it's Saturday, September 25th. I think it's just really helpful having a little calendar on the screen so I don't have to go into Google Calendar to look at the month. And I also have these two Pinterest widgets. So this one has a quote and it changes every hour. And all of these quotes are pulled from a board that I saved. This is my Pinterest if you want to follow me. I have all these boards and I saved the quotes that I want on my feed, so it switches every hour to one of these quotes. And then the bottom is a similar idea where it's a board full of aesthetic pictures that I pulled out, and then it changes every hour as well. So looking at my apps on here, I think this is a great shortcut. Where I live, we have these things called vaccine passports implemented, where you have to show your proof of vaccination when you go into specific stores. It's really annoying finding that screenshot of your vaccine proof. So then I created a shortcut where it takes me to an album where just my vaccine card is saved. So if I ever go to restaurants, I just have to click on that. I have this app called Appointments, Square Appointments, where I use it for work. I have Messenger, Facebook, Camera, Photos, Google Maps, and Google Chrome. So all of these apps are just random things that I use pretty often. And then I have my app drawer full of other apps, which are not worth mentioning. You might be thinking that like these shortcuts are a lot of work, which they kind of are, and they're not really necessary to have, obviously. It's more for aesthetics, but also what I find is that when your apps all look similar, you're less likely to be drawn to certain apps. So on my old phone, I had this feature set up where if I triple click the home button, it'll turn everything black and white. And I found that when all the apps are black and white, I'm not as attracted to these social media apps that are usually brightly colored and much more attractive. It's the same idea with this home screen where all of the apps are basically similarly colored, and the only thing that differentiates them from each other are these icons. I didn't even name these icons because then it forces me to be more intentional when I go onto my phone. So if I'm going onto my phone, let's say to check my emails, I'm more likely to go into it thinking that I need to click on this app instead of if I were to go on it mindlessly and all the apps are colored, I would be easily distracted by the Instagram app because the colors itself are a lot more attractive than just the Mail app, which is just blue and white. So last but not least, I wanted to mention my lock screen, which is this really aesthetically pleasing wallpaper with a calendar. I make these for every single month. I change up the background and the quote up here, and I change it so it actually matches the calendar month. But I will link this wallpaper in my description below. It's on my blog and I make it every single month. So if you want to download this, I think you should. I really like having a calendar in my lock screen because sometimes when I'm making plans with other people and I just need to know what the day of the week is for a specific date, I don't have to unlock my phone and potentially get distracted. I could just look at my lock screen and it's all on here. So that was it for my what's on my iPhone. As I mentioned in the video, all the app icons, if you like them, will be in a Google Drive folder and I'll link that below. And I also have my monthly wallpaper link down below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content that I make. As always, thank you so much for watching until the very end of the video, and I hope you have a sunny day.